evening. Welcome to tonight's episode of your favorite family law talk show, Late Night Intercourse with Chioma. Of course, as usual, your guest is Chioma Onyenucheya Uko, the Zest family lawyer. I hope you've had a beautiful day. I'm happy to hear that. You're welcome this evening to this interesting episode. Tonight, we will be discussing what the law permits when love grows cold in a marriage. So one of the things I encounter, which actually a colleague suggested that we discuss tonight, is people saying, I no longer love my wife, I no longer love my husband, and things like that. Another way it may manifest may just be that, things start to get a little bit cold, affection, the love begins to dwindle. As life happens, maybe the beautiful, slim girl you married has grown into a woman and, life is happening and she's adding weight, the love handles and all of those. Things are beginning to cause changes in her body, work schedules and all of those. The pressure is getting worse, as they will say. And then those things are causing physical changes, emotional changes, mental changes and all of those. When those changes are not maybe acceptable, when those changes are not changes that the other party in the marriage likes, appreciates, admires, those things may take a toll on the marriage. And you may find that these people who were lovey-dovey at the commencement of the marriage are beginning to drift apart. And the question we'll be answering tonight is, where that happens, what does the law permit? Is it possible for a woman to just say, I'm no longer interested, I've fallen out of love with my husband? Or for a man to say, I no longer love her, I want out of the union. Does the law permit that? What does the law permit for a couple to do if things begin to grow cold between them? So that's what we'll be answering tonight. And as you know, you don't only get to learn in every episode of the Late Night Intercourse. You also get to win. Yes, you get to win. You get to win data subscription prizes at every episode of the Late Night Intercourse. And one of the easy ways to qualify to win will be to ensure that you share this video. So do that already if you haven't. Share right away and then qualify to win. Please share. Please help me share so that as you learn, your friends and your family will also be learning and our society will be the better for it all round. And after you're done sharing, the other thing will be that when I ask a question, you are one of the first to give me a correct answer to my question. Then you know that you have secured a chance to win a data subscription prize tonight. So we'll proceed. I think before we answer the question as to whether the law permits certain steps or actions when love grows cold in a marriage, let's attempt a definition of marriage. What is marriage? Well, as many of us already know, marriage is a contract. Yes, it is a union between a man and the woman, that's if it is statutory, or between a man and some women, if it is customary, that is bound by mutual, where they owe themselves mutual obligations, and that union is bound by law. It can be bound by statute, it can be bound by customary law. But the important thing is that a marriage will involve a man and the woman, or a man and some women. And I'm defining marriage as we have it in Nigeria. In some other climes, marriage may mean just more than this, But in Nigeria, Marriage is strictly between people of the opposite gender, a man and a woman, or a man and some women, where the marriage is polygamous, because that is permissible under native law and custom. So, and it is bound by law, and the parties on the marriage owe each other obligations. So, and it is usually a lifelong commitment, except where things break down irretrievably and parties, part ways. Otherwise, it is intended, it is ideal that it is lifelong. That is what a marriage is. So I think you've established that a marriage is a contract, and, between persons of opposite gender, and they owe each other or one another mutual obligations, and, it's prescribed by law or by custom. That is what marriage is. And marriage being that, like I said, it can be guided, it can be governed, it can be regulated by the law as we have it under the Matrimonial Causes Act, or by custom as we have it in our different, communities, which is why even where people are married just customarily, if they decide they are no longer interested in that marriage, there are certain expectations, there are certain prescriptions of what they must do for that marriage to be terminated. So which means that it is not just something between two people where they can choose how they want to do it or how they don't want to do it. There are basic rules guiding marriage, whether statutorily or by native law and custom. The other thing to note is that love is a beautiful thing, granted. Love is important in a marriage, absolutely. But is love a legal requirement for marriage in Nigeria? Sorry to disappoint you. The answer is no. It is not one of those requirements that the law expects to see before a marriage can be valid. It means that if two people decide to get married to each other and they respect themselves enough and they do not abuse each other and they just live harmoniously, whether they are in love or not, it does not in any way diminish or, improve the validity of that marriage. So while love is important in marriages, it is not a legal requirement. It is not a legal determinant of the validity of any marriage in Nigeria, whether it is marriage under the law or marriage under native law and custom. So whether it is statutory or it is customary, every marriage is valid if it conforms with the prescriptions of law, regardless the existence or absence of love in that union. So what does that tell you? That tells you that if two people live together and in the course of their marriage, affection begins to dwindle, love begins to diminish, things are no longer as rosy, as affectionate, as interesting, as cordial as it used to be between the both of them. If they are able to exercise restraint and mutual respect and make attempts to work at that union, I bet you the chances of that union regaining life and a fresh infusion of love is quite high. And I think the law realizes that sometimes emotions can be fickle, love may be fleeting, sometimes it may come and go, those butterflies in the stomach and all of those. It's possible that the law, realizing how fickle those could be, decided that it wasn't a necessity for love to be established in a marriage. So it then means that where you are tired on the mere basis that you don't love this person again, That's just your reason. This person has not been cruel. This person is not adulterous. This person did not desert you. This person have not been separated from you, for extended periods. This person did not go missing for, the minimum prescribed number of years. This person, there are no other ingredients which qualify to prove a ground that a marriage has broken down irretrievably. If the only complaint you have is that you no longer feel the butterflies in your stomach, or she's getting too fat these days, or I don't know, he's getting bald. The guy used to have fine hair, now the hair is receding. If it's any of those things that is your problem, my brother, my sister, the law does not permit that alone is sufficient ground or sufficient evidence to prove the ground that marriage has broken down. So it means that it is not enough for you to throw in the towel. It means that you need to now take a few other steps to make the most of your marriage, or to let it sink. What are some of those things that you can do? Some of the things you can do when marriage has, become draining, when it has become laborious, when it has become almost a chore, it's no longer fun, it no longer gives you that, oomph that you used to feel thinking about this person. Where any of those is happening, the first thing I will prescribe, which of course is lawful, is for both of you to have a sincere conversation. Yes, have a conversation. It is in the place of a conversation that you can bare your heart to each other. It is in that place that you're able to tell this person, you used to be so neat. These days, you no longer care about your hair. You no longer care about personal hygiene. What exactly is happening? I am here and I care, and I would like to help you through it if you let me. Or I don't like this man you're becoming. You used to be so playful. You used to be so fun. But these days, you are easily cranky. We no longer have time to talk. You don't pay attention to me. Whatever that thing is, please have a conversation. It is in the place of a conversation that, surprisingly, many things are resolved. Of course, if you approach that conversation, courteously, remember that you once loved this person. Remember that this person is your husband or your wife, your significant other, possibly the mother or the father of your children, even if not. But this is somebody you once had affection for. So even for no other reason, the mere fact that he or she is human, accord him or her that courtesy of having a polite conversation. Be sincere, be frank, but of course, be considerate. Don't use extreme words when talking. No matter how hurt you feel, no matter how disenchanted you feel, don't use extreme words. Because if you do, the intention of that conversation may be lost. It may evoke opposite reaction, which is not what you seek to have, right? So have a sincere conversation. And in the place of that conversation, you may both realize that whatever it is something that you both can work on and redeem your marriage. So, number one, I said, have a conversation. Then number two, could you please explore a counseling session, therapy, something? Now, there are people who are professionals, who have been trained, who have learned the art of guiding people through tough situations. And having a strain in your marriage is a tough situation. If your spouse is not abusive, if your spouse did not desert you, if your spouse is not adulterous and such that you find adultery intolerable, if your spouse is not separated from you for, various periods as prescribed by the law, if your spouse has not done anything that you find offensive in the manner that it will be unreasonable to expect you to continue to live with him or her, maybe where they have indulged in certain unnatural acts or such other things, cruelty and all of those. If your spouse has not gone missing for 7 years or more, it means that you can work on your marriage. So a counselor or a therapist may be able to help both of you to unburden emotions, to discover what the issues are, address them, and learn ways or, articulate ways you can rise above them. You can, deal with those things. So yes, conversation is good. Where the both of you cannot effectively have a successful, a meaningful, a worthwhile conversation, then maybe you should explore therapy or counseling. While doing that, or in the alternative, it may also help if you allow each other a decent break. Sometimes it's just the pressure, maybe of work, maybe of caring for children, maybe of caring for other dependents, maybe of earning, bread for the family, for the home. Maybe, it could just be the pressure of one thing or the other that takes its toll on you, and then you begin to just transfer the aggression on your spouse, or things that ordinarily shouldn't provoke you begin to provoke you. It could be any of those. Whatever it is, just take a breather, just take a break. A break may mean a vacation separately. A break may also mean both of you just allowing each other time, some time to cool off, some time to vent, sometimes to just thaw. It could be that you decide you want to stay away for some time. Whatever it is, anything that allows you a me time to just think about things, exhale, just relax, something. But you can actually take a break. And it may be in the course of that break that you realize how much you're missing this person. And then you realize that this person is not as bad as you were beginning to imagine him or her to have become suddenly. You may begin to remember those beautiful things about them that got you attracted to them in the first place. So, yes, sometimes a break is helpful. So that's one of the things you may consider if the marriage is beginning to feel like a burden, or if love is deteriorating in the marriage. The other thing I think you should do is to be respectful to each other. What do I mean by that? Whether you are apart or together, whether you are having a conversation or exploring therapy or counseling, whatever it is you're doing, it is critical that you remain respectful to each other, because if you step out of respectful limits, respectful behavior, and you become abusive, or you do not consider this person's emotions and you begin to cheat, or you do not, respect the dignity of the person and you begin to just treat them poorly, that may then become the reason why the marriage will break down irretrievably. So what that means is that it will then become that the marriage did not, deteriorate or dissolve because love diminished. No. The marriage may actually get dissolved if you do not respect them and you conduct yourself in a manner that they find a reason to say they would rather do life without you. So, if you don't respect them, you may also be exposing yourself to possible criminal liabilities. So please, whether or not the love thrives as it did from the beginning, endeavor to maintain cordial respect with and towards your spouse. And then take time and work on self-development. Sometimes we may have some faults. We may get careless. We may not pay attention to something that is important to our spouse. Of course, maybe inadvertently. If that be the case, it is important that at intervals, particularly if your spouse have raised with you a concern that things are not as rosy as they were between the both of you, it may be time to take stock. Look at yourself. What do you need to work on? Do you need to work on your homekeeping ethics? Do you need to work on your personal hygiene? Do you need to work on, family time and involvement in matters that affect, your family, particularly your children? Do you need to work? There is something you need to work on. Just pay attention. You'll find that thing, particularly if it is something your spouse have complained about. So take time for self-development. It may just be that in that period of self-development, you reignite that person that your spouse fell in love with, and the marriage will bloom again. It is also possible that in doing that, you rediscover yourself and you find purpose afresh, and you become a better version of you, such that if your spouse wasn't even in love with you from the onset, they may actually fall head over heels just because you've applied the right self-development. I am not saying that it will necessarily be your fault that your spouse is no longer as in love as they were, but I'm saying just by chance, there is something you need to work on. And the other thing will be, if love dwindles, it may be necessary that you consult a family lawyer. Yes. Oftentimes, when I talk about consulting a family lawyer in marriage, people mistakenly think that you consult a lawyer because you want or you're ready for trouble. That is not true. Some people think that consulting a lawyer means that you are preparing for a case. Well, maybe, but not necessarily. Sometimes, in consulting your lawyer, you are equipping yourself to avoid trouble. Your lawyer will be able to give you the right counsel. Just as I'm counseling you tonight, just as I'm telling you some of the things you can do to improve your marriage, your lawyer will advise you from the informed position of a person who is knowledgeable about the provisions of the law. So he or she will be able to tell you what to do and what not to do. And even for the things you know to do, he or she may tell you how best to do them to achieve best results. So I think that you should change yourself. You do yourself a lot of disservice when you shy away from consulting a lawyer. Even when it does appear expensive, the problems consulting a lawyer may help you avert are actually always more costlier. So I've mentioned about 6 or so things I think you should try if affection is dwindling, if love is diminishing, if, the vibe is not as robust as it used to be. But I need you to bear in mind that alone is not sufficient for you to allow your marriage dissolve. If you take the steps I've advised, chances are that you will redeem things and your marriage will be thriving again. And one of the things I like to make the point clearly is that in Nigeria, there is no such thing as a no-faults divorce. It means that the only ground that the courts, that the law will permit for a marriage to be dissolved is that that marriage has broken down irretrievably. That's the only ground. That is the only ground. So, that the love is waning will not count. Except if, because the love is waning, you now deny your spouse, consortium. You deny him or her intimacy. You deny him or her certain things that are ordinarily his or her entitlements. That will be when you are then guilty or culpable of having ignited the breaking down of your marriage. So, I think that would be a good place to rest it tonight. And as usual, you know that what we have here is an intercourse, albeit a late night one. So, and in every worthwhile intercourse, it is a symbiotic relationship between two people. I've been doing the talking, and now it's time when I expect to read from you or to hear from you. So please, let me check to see. For those who may want to ask a question or make a suggestion, kindly just drop a message in the comment section. And as usual, I'd like for you to also tell me where you're watching from. Yes, please. Yes, please. Do that while you drop your question or your comment. And thank you always for the commendations. I appreciate them. They're quite encouraging. I am grateful. Let me check to see if I have any question. Let me check to see if I have any question. A question or a comment. A question or a comment. Leo Smart says he's chatting from the coal city. Yeah, Enugu. Thank you, Leo Smart, for always joining us. And he says he's hoping for a good network today. So yeah, it appears he's enjoying a good network. Nelea says good evening. She's joining from Abuja. Oh, beautiful. Oh, Pastor K says so impactful. Thank you so much, Pastor K. There's a question from Leo. He says, what exactly is the first criteria for getting married to a person since it's not love? Because he's just hearing it tonight that love is not the basic thing in going into marriage. All right. I'll answer your question right away, Leo. Oh, a shout out from my best friend, Adeze. Thank you, my darling. She says, good evening, bestie of life. Thank you, Adeze, for tuning in. Thank you, my darling. Thank you. So, yeah, back to you, Leo Smart. Yes, I said that love is not a proof of the validity of a marriage. But I also admitted to you that love is important in marriage. That may appear tricky, but I think it's quite clear. Let me explain. While something may be necessary, may be useful, may be beneficial, if that thing is not mandatory, it means that whether that thing exists or not, that situation, that circumstance meets prescribed, parameters. In a marriage, nothing says, no law says that there must be love before marriage happens. No law says that. Granted that in the Bible you hear, husband love your wives, wife love your husbands. It didn't say when husband doesn't love wife or wife doesn't love husband, there will be no marriage. It only means that they may not have the best of marriages. So, since it is not a prescription that is mandatory to give effect, to give validity, to give legality to a marriage, that is why if you are about to get married, they will not ask you, do both of you love each other? If you say no, they will not marry you. No, nobody asks. It's not a qualifier for the marriage. Of course, it is advisory. It is recommended because it's highly beneficial. It makes the union thrive. It makes it fun. It makes it easy because life is not easy. So love helps to make things easy. But if you respect each other enough, if you're considerate towards each other, if you're responsible in your obligations to each other, that love thingy, particularly in the context that many of us define love in intimate relationships, will not matter whether it exists or is absent. What will matter is how you treat each other, your responsibilities towards each other, your respect towards each other. Those are the things that will matter. So I don't know if I answered your question, Leo. I don't know if I answered your question. Oh, thank you, Vicky. Victoria says, interesting discuss. Nice one says she's watching from Ireland. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Happy to have you live tonight. Thank you, Victoria. And okay, Leo says, no law says that there must be love before a marriage can hold. This is deep. Okay, he got that tonight. Okay. Then somebody is asking, why is it that when a man goes, love seems to die in marriage? I'm not sure that question is clear. Can somebody, I don't know. Vibes Plus, can you please clarify that question? I'm not sure I understand what you meant by that. Forgive me. I'm not sure I understand what you said. Can you please clarify? Why is it that when a man goes, love seems to die in a marriage? What does that mean? If a man goes, that means there'll be no two people anymore, right? And if there is no two people anymore, oh, he says if a man goes broke, love seems to fizzle out. Okay. So you see why I said love, particularly in the context that many of us interpret it as not a qualifier for marriage. I don't think that love is premised on wealth, like riches, like financial wealth. I don't think so. So if being broke or being, fluid, being rich, being able to afford to meet one's needs is a criteria for love, don't you now already see that wasn't really love? That won't be love. So I don't agree that when a man goes broke, that love fizzles out. I don't think so. There are many women who are committedly and respectfully supporting their husbands. There are many. There have always been, from time immemorial, even, back into history. There are women who fend for their families happily. Not preferably, but that's the circumstance. They do it responsibly with every sense of duty, trusting for a better day. So there are women who cannot claim to have loved, and they stopped loving because a man went broke. If you tell me that love may diminish because a man became irresponsible, I may agree with you. And you will find out that the pain, the hurt, will not be that the man is broke. It will be, how does he apply his resources, the little that he has? How does he conduct himself, even in that situation that he is? Because money is not everything in a relationship. How helpful is he in the home? How supportive is he to his spouse? What demeanor does he wear? What kind of man is he in that home, in that relationship? If the only value a man brings in a union is money, then I think that man is poor. He really is poor. He absolutely is poor. A man can't bring only money to a relationship. No. The heart has other needs. So if that man feeds the other needs of the woman, some of her intimacy needs, some of her, companionship needs, some of those things that she desires, if a man is able to feed those, satisfy those, being broke or not, cannot be the reason the love and the union will fizzle out. That's my opinion. Vibes Plus. He goes ahead, I don't know if it's a he or she, forgive me, goes ahead to say women who fend for their families sees the husband as less of a man. Well, I think the response I already gave addresses that too. So what I'm saying in effect is that any woman who sees her husband as less than a man will not necessarily be just because he's broke. Bah, not likely. Except that woman never cared for that man from the get-go. But if she did love him, money alone will not be the reason she sees him as less than a man. You can verify that with other women. Now, I'm checking to see questions. I'm checking to see if there are other questions. Please bear with me. Let me check our platforms. Let me check to see if there's a question I'm missing. Is there something I'm missing? A question or a comment? Is there a question or a comment? Oh, Anthony Ekbeta is here. Michael Madu, thank you very much. Thank you all for joining. Chimdi, thank you, Chimdi, for joining us live. Thank you. My big sis Ogechiabu, special recognition, ma. Thank you so much for sponsoring tonight's episode. I'll talk about that in a bit. Thank you so much. And thank you for joining live. So, yeah, Ogechiabu says, great tips, conversation, therapy, counseling, decent break, respect, and she gives a thumbs up. Thank you very much. Another of my big sis, Ini Irene Pepple. Consulting a lawyer is to get proper counseling. Absolutely, ma. You're correct. I said as much. Ogechiabu goes ahead to say, I particularly like this consult a lawyer bit. Typically, couples only come to lawyers when the relationships has broken down. When we think of counseling, we think of pastors, family members, and professional counselors, etc., but not lawyers. So this is a good tip. Yes, and I think that cannot be overflogged, really. It is important to realize that by the wealth of knowledge, experience that a lawyer has garnered in the course of rendering professional services to people and families, in their needs, issues, and all of those, if you consult a seasoned family lawyer, you will get advice that will save you tons of heartache. So yes, I agree. Yeah, so it says she's watching from Abuja. Daniel says nice topic. He's watching from Kaduna. Ogechi says, but how can one be with someone you don't love? If there is no love, would there be physical attraction? Okay, I'll answer that question. And then Brenda Chinaka says, nice one. Can't wait to learn a lot from this. Oh, thank you so much, Brenda. And it's always a delight to lend knowledge. And of course, because it's an intercourse, we exchange knowledge. We share. I teach, I also learn. So, Stugechab, you know what I think? The question as to whether if there is no love, would there be physical attraction? Well, I think that different strokes for different folks. But many people will very easily maintain intimacy with someone they have mutual respect with, regardless of if what is termed love is there or not. Of course, there are those who want to feel the butterflies before they get comfortable. But there are also those who may be a little bit more transactional in their approach to these issues. Not transactional in the sense of exchange of, cash or no. They may be looking at other things. What am I looking for? I want a responsible man who understands the importance of family. A man who will be a good father for my children. A man who comes from a good home, who lives by good ideals. And this man seems to fit the bill. So that's the man I want. There may not be love in that sense, in that relationship. But because of the mutual respect, maybe someday love will blossom. And even if it doesn't, they don't lose a thing. Or you find a man who says, I want a woman who, is family oriented. I want a woman who has a good head on her shoulders. I want a woman who is a sound partner. Someone I can share ideas with. Someone I can rub minds with. And I think this woman represents all of that. I think this is the woman I want to marry. There are people who look at even things like just a family tree. I don't want to, mortgage my children's future with any likelihood of poverty and the rest of it. I want to marry into a family where there is settled wealth. That's where I want to marry. And that is their reason. There are those who say, I want to have bright children. I don't want to marry an Olodo. So love is not going to toss them about. They are clear-eyed as to who they are looking for. So if you ask me whether love, in the absence of love, whether intimacy can happen, well, the question will then be, what exactly is this love we're talking about in this context? Isn't love respect? Once there is respect, wouldn't we say that sufficiently there is love? I don't know. I'd like to hear your thoughts. Yeah. Oh, Bunne Wachuku Mike, thank you so much. Thank you for joining. He says very impressive. Okay, yes. So those are... Oh, Auntie Chonye, thank you so much. She says, well done, girl. Proud of you. Oh, thank you so much, Auntie Chonye. Glad to have you live. Thank you for joining. Thank you so much, ma. Thank you for the compliments. Okay. So, in the absence of further questions or comments, I hope I didn't miss any. In the absence of further questions or comments, I think this is the point where I get to ask you a question and give you the opportunity to win a prize. Yay! The 10th episode of Late Night Intercourse with Chioma, uninterrupted. Come on. Someone should, I want to see the love image emoji. I want to see a congratulations or something. Can you just type that already? 10 uninterrupted episodes. Yes, I know it may not mean so much to some people, but this is just a startup. Comment me. I want to read it. Let me see the love emojis. Let me see the commendations. So, and tonight's episode is sponsored. Yes, financially sponsored by my big sister, my senior colleague, my friend, Ogechi Abu. If you're not following her already, I think you should. That woman is brilliant. She's not just brilliant, she is empathic. That's a woman I think you need to follow. If you're not following her already, particularly if you're on Facebook, I think you should. Do that already. So she sponsored tonight's episode of the Late Night Intercourse. And what that means is that whoever wins a prize tonight won that prize courtesy of Ogechi Abu. Thank you so much, Sister Ogechi. Thank you. I'm very grateful for the support. I'm very grateful for the encouragement. Thank you. Thank you for always being there. God bless you richly and replenish your purse in manifold portions. Thank you, ma. She still worries and says, you can respect someone and don't fancy them in the other sense, but she takes my point. Of course, yes. Like I had said, different strokes for different folks. So there's really no one size fits all. But can a marriage thrive without love? Yes, it can. If there is respect, if there are other ingredients. And I think that even that is love in itself. But the love that we talk about, when we talk about that kind of, love, that giddy kind of love that we want to see in an intimate relationship, sometimes it's not there. Sometimes. Yet, the family is happy. The family is, successful. Hey, I'm getting the congratulations. Thank you so much. Thank you. Vibes Plus is saying congratulations. Yeah, Victoria is saying congratulations, more power. Thank you. Yeah, Leo Smart is saying congratulations. Thank you so much. Nilo is saying congratulations. Daniel too. Yeah, Stogate is saying the same. Oh, thank you. I promise that having signed on this, I am not going to stop. I will always bring you fresh, enlightening episodes every Thursday on Late Night Intercourse with Chioma. And thank you for always joining me. So this is the time when I ask a question. Maybe this is where a drum roll should happen. Oh yeah, the question tonight will be what are the just give me three. Give me three things that a couple can do when love diminishes in their union. What are the three things that the law permits them to do? Of course, the first person to answer that question will win a 5,000 Naira data subscription courtesy of Ogechiabo. And then there will be consolation prizes for maybe 3 people who follow up quickly with correct answers. And when I ask a question, you pay attention to ensure that you answer my question. Don't tell me what you think I want to hear. Answer exactly what I have asked. Answer what I have asked. Answer what I have asked. Answer what I have asked. Yeah, I'm happy to see that some people are also watching us live on Twitter. That's on X, yes. That's interesting. So we're streaming live on 3 platforms: YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. And very soon we'll add other channels. And if you're not following us already on YouTube, please, Ejo, Biko, I beg, click the subscribe button. If you're not following on Facebook, follow. In fact, I think you may also do well to click the notification button so that anytime I make a post or an announcement on the Late Night Intercourse, you will be among the first to hear. So follow us across the platforms: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and also TikTok. Yes. As soon as we're able to garner the requisite followership on TikTok, we will also be coming live on TikTok. So you'll be supporting this ministry if you follow us on those platforms. The first response I see here is from Adez. Okay, no. Oh, okay. Hers is actually a comment. She says, congratulations, our favorite family lawyer. You nailed it as always. More favors to your heart. Thank you, darling. So the first response I have seen here is from Leo Smart. Let me compare the platforms and confirm which came in first. Please bear with me. Let me check. Okay, so yes, I see that Leo Smart is the first. He says, have a sincere conversation, explore a counselor or a therapist, take a break to cool off a little. Beautiful. He has given us 3 things you can do if your marriage is, experiencing a lull in affection. Congratulations, Leo Smart. You're already our first prize winner. So, congratulations. Congratulations. So, I guess I'll just wait maybe 1-2 more minutes to see if we'll find another person who wins a consolation prize. We still have data to offer. We have a sponsor tonight. Didn't you hear me? Come on. Make attempt. Answer. I'm sure I wasn't just talking to myself. And I'm sure you understood what I said. So if you did, answer and win a prize. What 3 things can a couple do if their marriage, is experiencing some decline in affection? What can they do? Give me three. Leo Smart has given me 3 correctly, and he has won himself a 5,000 naira data prize tonight. So if I get 2 or so more people who also answer correctly, they will win consolation prizes, and we'll call it a wrap tonight and continue with a fresh episode next week, Thursday. Leo Smart is jubilated and saying congratulations to him. Yeah, congratulations are due to you, Leo Smart. Congratulations are due to you. You've earned the congratulations. So yes, I also say congratulations to you. Oh, I do not find any other answer. And somebody posts an answer. Someone just said that I never read his answer. Yobona, did you just say that? That's not true. In one of the live episodes, one of the episodes, I remember even reading your question live and answering your question. And you also acknowledged that I did answer your question. So how can you say I don't read your answer? That's not true. That's not true. Just as I've been reading everybody's answer, and twice you've won consolation prizes. How did you win if I didn't read your answers? That's not true. I know my followers. I read you. I take recognition of you. So please, if you have an answer to tonight's question. Hi, Chinwe. Adawanyuku. You're welcome, darling. Thank you. Good to have you live on the late night intercourse with Choma. You're welcome. Yeah, you came in late. But of course, you know that at the end of the episode, the video is usually up on my wall. So whether on YouTube, on Facebook, or on Twitter, you can always go back and watch. Okay? So even if you came in late, you may not have missed so much because it will still be there fresh for you to watch. So please, just click the video immediately the episode ends, and you'll be able to still get the full gist of it. Okay, so the only response we got tonight is from Chiwa is asking if they can make up the answer if they missed the session. I'm not sure I'm quite clear on that. When you say make up the answer, what do you mean? Sorry, can you clarify? What do you mean by make up the answer? How do you mean make up the answer? Are you suggesting maybe that you just give me your own suggestion of what you think they should do? If you give me your own suggestions of what you think they can do. Brenda Chinaka is asking if I haven't seen her answer. Honestly, I haven't. Where is your answer? Oh my goodness. Okay, let me check again. Let me refresh and check so I don't miss anybody's answer. And deprive them the opportunity to win a prize. I have refreshed. Let me check. Brenda, can you copy and paste your answer again? Can you just do that quickly? Oh, okay, I'm seeing here. Oh, awesome. I missed some. Oh, for my apologies. Okay, I see here that Anthony Ekpete have answered. He says, have a sincere conversation, explore therapy or counseling, and allow each other a decent break to heal. Oh, and his answers are very correct. So, Anthony, you've also won a consolation prize. Yeah, Sister Oge says conversation, therapy, and respect. Absolutely. Very correct answer. You've also won a consolation prize, though you are our sponsor. Okay. And Brenda Chinaka says respect, conversation, and consultation. Okay, Brenda. I'll take it, but I'll take it. Except that consultation here is not quite clear. We need to be sure that the consultation you mean is also the consultation we have prescribed. Because when you say consultation, some people go consulting their friends, some people go consulting their traditional rulers, some people go consulting their neighbors, and all sorts of people. While some of those people may also be helpful, but what we have suggested, what we have recommended on this show is that you consult professionals. So I wish you had clarified consultation here, so that consultation is not just consultation of family or friends. I say this because oftentimes when you consult family and friends, emotions or bias allow them give you the best advice. Sometimes. So that is not what I recommended here. So because of that, I'm not quite sure you have won your response. Yes, I'm seeing that there are answers I didn't read here. I'm seeing that there are some I didn't read. Aha, Obunnewa Chukwumike says both should have discussion and also consult a lawyer. They should also take advice from others and self-respect. Okay, you've given me 4 answers instead of 3 that I asked for. And I always ask that you pay attention and answer me correctly. I said give me 3 answers. So from what I see tonight, of course, it's already established that Leo Smart won our first prize of 5,000 Naira data subscription. Anthony Akpete also won a prize, though a consolation prize. Our sponsor also won a consolation prize, yes. Okay. Maybe I should just indulge Obunaya Mike and Brenda Chinaka. So yes, I'll indulge the both of you for making the effort, except that you didn't quite answer me correctly. So now we have 4 consolation prize winners. Yes. My boss is live. The Maddox man. I told you, sir. I dey hail. Thank you for joining us live. Thank you, boss. Thank you for joining us live. For those of you who don't know, Mr. Maddox, I owe him deep respect. In fact, he's the main brain behind the production of this weekly series that you watch. I couldn't have done it without him. So, boss, I'm blushing having you watch me live. Thank you so much for joining. Smart says that he always looks forward to this program. It's so what? I didn't read that. It's so rich, and there are a lot to learn. Lawyers are wonderful indeed. Oh yes, we are. Lawyers are wonderful. Thank you. Okay, Brenda has clarified to say consulting a therapist. That's what she meant. Okay, so overall we have a first prize winner and then 4 consolation prize winners. Please, for those who know the drill, and for those who are just winning for the first time tonight, the standard thing is at the end of the show, you send me a message inbox or on our WhatsApp platform. The number is 090-80-000-633. I'll take it again, 090-80-000-633. I'm sure the number may likely be on the screen. So if you send a message to that number or send it to me on Facebook Messenger, I will do the needful and ensure that you get credited with your value, the value of this data subscription. So thank you very much. Yes, Sister Oge, thank you so much for thanking my boss. Boss Maddox. Yes, Ogechiabu says thank you for bringing us this show. Yes, he took his advice, he took his guidance, his direction for this show to birth. Because before then I didn't quite have clarity as to how I could package this, but he did it. He did it. So we owe him huge thanks for the late night intercourse. So I think that will be a good place to draw the curtain tonight. And like I always say, please feel free to suggest topics to us. Do you have questions that nag your mind on any subject within the family law spectrum? Is there something you want to learn about? Is there something you want to sound me out on? This is an opportunity for you to get free consultation. At the risk of sounding immodest, the knowledge I dish out here for free is knowledge I get paid for when you consult me privately. So this affords you an opportunity to still get valuable legal advice without paying for it. The reason I do this is because I believe that as lawyers, as people who are learned, we owe a duty to enlighten the society. We owe a duty to ensure that people gain, basic knowledge, and that in gaining this knowledge, they are better informed to take decisions that will not harm or hurt them or their loved ones. That's why I do this. So when you ask me a question on this show, you are affording other people the opportunity to learn, which is why I'll answer you without charging you a fee. So if there's anything you'd like for us to talk about, please feel free to send it to me inbox, send it to me on WhatsApp, or just post it right under the comment section. And for those who have won prizes tonight, congratulations again. Thank you so much for keeping my company and making this truly an intercourse with your participation. And this will be a good place to call it a wrap. Looking forward to seeing you again, same time, on any of the platforms of your choice on which you choose to join us. At least for now, we are live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. It's Choma Onyenucheya Oko, the Zest Family Lawyer, your host on the Late Night Intercourse, saying, do enjoy a restful night. See you next week, Thursday. Bye-bye.